Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So today I wanted to talk about the Tesla Effect deck. From the last episode I got the Alexa Tesla as well as Mr. Crow. And then I went after the Architect Sofija card, and I was really lucky. I pulled two of them in one pull, so I got two of them I can work with now. So what I want to do is I want to show you the mechanics of this actual card. I don't have the ultra rare, I don't have a Tesla Reborn, and I don't have all the relics yet. So this is going to be a bit of a slower deck. And what I want to do is I will show this deck and then the one I'm actually using right now, and then a couple of other decks that you can use if you don't have the Architect. So what other viable deck options are there for you if you have just the free event card. All right, so first let's just go and test this out. I just want to play. I'm gonna take it easy and just sort of show the mechanics here. So the idea here is you want to activate the passive of Alexa as much as possible by having the only way to trigger is if you have if you match the light gems so that they'll attack. And you can see that her passive actually already triggered, but I don't actually have my Architect's battle skill ready yet, so I couldn't actually use it. It's active for one turn, and so I will have to wait for the next time that the passive actually gets activated. And you can see that she also dispels fear. And I'm going to go ahead and use Mr. Crow's skills here to actually be immune to damage. And you can see here, fear actually did not get dispelled here. This is something that happens, with this card, because Alexa's not a warden, and so she doesn't actually dispel fear as easily as a warden card would do. So now what you want to do is you want to try and match your white gems so that you can make sure you can attack, and then match your white gems and then just continue to move quickly. And let's see if we can trigger the passive with this attack here, and it looks like it did. So now let's go ahead and trigger both of the Architect's battle skill, and then just go ahead and match the gems here. So this is how it works out. And I think where are we at? We're at 145 intensity for each of the two cards, and I was able to build up close to 10 Power Gem 1 gems each. And that was, I was playing kind of slow there, and so you can sort of see how that works. Now the danger here is to truly sort of get it up to the point where you can get a lot of damage. You kind of want to make sure that you can do two things: one, dispel fear as much as possible, and two, if you have issues with survivability, bringing the card then actually make sure that you stay alive. And so what I'm going to do now is show the deck that I actually use more often right now for my for the event, and that is what I like to call the Fearless Immortal deck. Okay, so what I have here is Gelbel the Dark, which is it's just a 4-star warden, but he does dispel fear, and his you can see it dispels fear 7, and right now the boss places fear 6, so this actually counters it more often. And also they've changed the game a little bit, so if you bring multiple cards that dispel the same thing, it's more likely to trigger for the counter. And I also brought in the Wicked Queen here. This really, depending on how fast you play, you may not need her, but I wanted to show how this can just basically make you completely immortal, in that you can actually keep playing without actually dying. So let's go, and because what she does is her passive skill is to heal for 10% of lost HP in every turn, and she has a battle skill that actually heals for 25% of max HP. So if your health ever goes low, it will just keep replenishing every turn. And so with this one is the same thing. Bring in 3 corrupt intensity relics, and let's go in and do another attack and sort of see how far we can take this, because like the goal here is I want to try and build up my intensity as high as possible, and just to see if we can fill up the whole board. Okay, so let's go and check this out. So let's go and play. Now there's always a chance okay, I'm going to actually just quit out of this battle right now because I did not change my team. So let's go back in here. Let's go in a battle here. So in order to get to about the entire board that's full, I'm going to need to build my intensity to close to 300 or so. So let's there's a lot of turns there, so I'm going to be doing lots of really quick swaps. And you can see what I'm doing here. So the focus here, I'm not really worried about how smartly I'm actually matching. I'm focused more on trying to end my turn as fast as possible. And you can see I actually made a mistake there, where I was basically wasting some time just trying to get the matches going, and so I have to play a little faster now to make sure that I actually get my battle skill going. And in the meantime, basically just keep moving the gems, keep matching, keep ending the turn quickly, and not worry about the fact that not worry about anything. You can see that every time that a fear is about to be cast, you can see how often I'm actually dispelling the fear skill here. And this is because since I am actually using more than one fear card, plus I have a warden with me, I'm increasing the likelihood of my my fear dispel happening. And you can see also that my health, as it's going lower, I just keep replenishing. Okay, and so we're getting closer. We're at the 10-second mark, and we're over 200 already. So I'm just going to keep going for a little bit. And at this point, what I've done is I've sort of made sure that I have a lot of light gems on the board, because I don't want to run out. I want to make sure that I can actually keep going. And we're at 195, so let's do a little bit more. We want to get this to about 300 or so maybe about a few more turns here. And we're at 280 probably. Okay, so let's just keep going. And of course, my hope here is that we're not going to end up in a situation where when I finally am ready to have the passive proc or activate, it doesn't actually do anything. So let's hope for the best now. All right, and let's just keep going. So we still have 7 seconds, so we still have a lot of time. You can see how I'm basically just doing one quick match, and then I'm sort of moving my gems immediately. So that's how you can end your turn really quickly and basically save some time there. Okay, so let's do this. And then now we should be ready to start. So I'm going to try and match 2 of these, see if that makes it go. Okay, looks like that didn't go yet, so let's get more light gems ready. Okay, and let's do this. So this is where it gets a little bit, okay, there you go. So let's go ahead and activate. And you can see that this just fills up the entire board with light gems. And let's just go ahead and match them. And let's see how much damage we deal here. All right. And so we're at 57 times bonus, and we're dealing 8 billion damage per card. Okay, for a total of over 25 billion right there, because one of them was 9 billion. So you could deal some really serious damage, and this was with only 3 cards. And the reason why I was able to do that is because I basically stayed alive, and I never lost my battle skill. Okay, so for me, this was a really easy and effective way to build up the intensity, and it's fun. Like for me, it's a little bit tougher, and really have to sort of think, and it can get a little nerve-wracking too near the end if like I'm getting close to the end and my my passive hasn't activated yet. I know they can be frustrating, but personally for me, I kind of think that I prepare for it, and I do my best to keep myself filled with light gems to increase my chances of getting it activated. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's sort of like something I knew that I was getting into, but for me, I just think it's fun. So I really enjoyed it. Now let's talk about a couple of decks that are viable. So this deck here, I wanted to thank my guildmate, King Faisal, for showing this. So this is the deck that he actually used. And he uses Mr. Crow, as well as Alexa Tesla, Indale, and a Cleric, with as well 3 of the Corrupt Intensity gems. And I have 2 Dren relics. I can actually bring this in. So this can also deal pretty good damage. I've seen him deal some really good damage there. So let's take a look here. We'll go ahead and use the Crow's prototype. So we might as well do an attack here and see how. Again, I forgot to change the team. So let's go ahead and change this now to use this team. And then we can talk about the team that I also use, which I can do for some quick MVP fights. I can show you that. So this one uses Mr. Crow as the leader, and really what you're trying to do here is you're just going to use the first turn to build as many power gems as you can. And then what you do is take advantage of the fact that there is one cleric to build a good, so you can build one power gem there and put them next to each other. Oh, I didn't actually shoot. I needed to actually get my Indale to go there, and I missed that one. So give me 1 second to use this skill again, and then bring these together. And now let's go ahead and activate Indale's ability. So you can see what this does is that it will actually give you a lot of gems to match, and then you can deal some really good damage because you have 3 cards that are 10 times 10 times the damage. And you can also inflict some more damage using Alexa, and then again just go ahead and just keep rinsing and repeating with Indale's ability to get more damage in, and we can sort of see how much damage we were able to deal here after this is done. So now this is level 177 Crow's prototype, and we were able to deal 669 million damage with that deck. Okay, so it's a very viable deck. You can deal a lot of damage even though you don't have the ultra rare card. Now if you have just the Mr. Crow, one of the other options is if you have some of the older cards. This is the deck that I usually use. Remember from the last time I talked about using Catherine as a leader, bring in 3 Cleric Garants, and then you can just bring in Mr. Crow just to boost the additional damage. We can sort of show how this works too. Now for me, I like this deck because I keep doing the same thing, so 1 second. Just go ahead and quit here, change the team to I call it the Quick Light Slayer because it's pretty just like the other deck. It's actually quite quick. I can quickly get my cards going. So let's see here. So let's go ahead and build this. So in this case, the cards were I wasn't able to build 2 power gems here, but let's try and hope we can get the cards next to each other. So let's do this part. I want to make sure that I don't accidentally match the light gem either. So let's go ahead and bring this down. And one thing to keep in mind that Mr. Crow and Catherine, they both actually make you immune to damage. So you want to activate them separately rather than at the same time or twice in the same turn, because you're only going to get immunity for 1. So you don't want to waste that. Okay, and so let's see here. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate again. And then same thing, you want to try and get the power gems next to each other, and then go ahead and activate Indale again. So you just kind of do this over and over again to really increase your damage overall. And we can see how much damage we deal with this this setup here. And looks like I didn't actually get enough for Indale to activate, but that's okay. Let's try and get. Oh, we just ran out of time to do that one last match. All right, so the first time we attack, we hit about 600 or so million. Let's see where we are right now. So we're at 1 point. So I think we dealt close to 400 million with this deck. Okay, so not quite as high because in this particular deck, it didn't have as many of the 10 times Slayers compared to this deck. But you can see that you don't need the ultra rare card to be successful here. Hopefully you have some of the other cards I'm talking about here so that you can combine and use it. And of course, if you wanted to deal a ton of damage, using this particular deck really helped me out. I don't have to worry about my health. I don't have to worry about the fear. And the only thing this is weak against is poison. So this card, you can just simply take it out. And if you need to deal with poison, just go and change it. We can look for Poison Dispel here. And let's see, I believe I have a Warden. I can actually bring in Lord Drief if I wanted to, although I could also bring in my my Fenrir, which is also a light Slayer card, so that I could deal some additional damage while I dispel the poison. And let's see, the bosses that actually deal poison here, we can see, I believe is... I think Bella. I think Bella actually will actually Right, so poison. So this actually, the thorns, not poison, thorns. My mistake. So let's see. So I should go back and change the card to make sure that I show you the right thing here. So thorns can actually cause this deck a bit of a problem in that every time you match your light gems, you are getting you're getting damaged as well. And so the best thing to do is to look for you can then look for a card that dispels thorns. Again, you want to bring in a ward if possible. So now I am protected against thorns, and I can make sure that I survive any hits. And I can, focus on bringing up my intensity to build up the attack for multi-billion hits. So I'm really excited about this deck. I'm really happy with my investment, and I consider myself very lucky to have gone 2 at the same time. And so that's something that I can use, and I just wanted to show the mechanics. So anyways, hopefully these cards or these decks are available for you, and that you can try out for yourself. Hopefully this has been helpful for you, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.